Don't be anxious, it's fine, it's great. And welcome to my channel. My name is Enola. If you are new here, then hello, and if you're returning, then welcome back. So I talk mainly about musical theatre and films and TV, and then all things lifestyle and bits and bobs, and a few deep chats along the way as well. So if that sounds like your cup of tea or something that you will enjoy, then don't forget to hit subscribe on my channel, hit the bell if you want some notifications, and also give this video a thumbs up and drop a comment below. Woo! So today I am here on my brand new camera, which I'm buzzing about. So I have recently had a very big birthday. Yes, you have guessed it, probably from the title of this video, the big 3-0. So I have recently turned 30, and as daunting as that may seem to quite a few people, it actually feels relatively okay. So I am here today to just do a little short video about 5 great things about turning 30. So anyone who is on the verge of turning 30 or has just turned 30 and is feeling a little bit like, then I'm here to actually let you know that it's not as bad as it seems, and I'm going to give you 5 reasons as to why it's not as bad as it seems. So let's just dive straight into the video. 30, when you say it, like, it seems like a really big old number, and you know, I always wondered when I was younger and watched 30 and going on 30, why on God's earth this young teenage girl wanted to skip her whole 20s and go straight to 30. I was just like, I don't understand why someone would do that, because your 20s are like your prime, your best life, your best time. That's what I thought as a young teenage girl. And yeah, for the most part, you know, your 20s are great, but they're also really extremely tough, and there's a lot of drama and there's a lot of figuring things out. It can be quite a tough decade, I have found. Having said that, you also kind of don't ever want to not be in your 20s, because that's the time that everyone talks about being like one of the best times of your life. You're creeping up to that 30 mark and you're kind of panicking, and especially if you don't feel like you've got your life together or whatever reasons that you have, because you're literally leaving a decade and entering a new one. And it's not the same as when you're like 18, 19, you're ready to go into your 20s. That's kind of a little bit less daunting because you're still considered young. But when you're entering your 30s, that's, you know, ultimately in your head more mature. Now this is exactly how I was feeling, but actually it's a great milestone, and I think instead of looking at it as like a negative, see it as an achievement. You know, we are lucky to have lived this long so far. I mean, life is a precious gift, and to live to any age is never guaranteed. So you should appreciate every single day, and hitting this milestone actually feels amazing. So let's just dive into the 5 reasons why turning 30 is great. Number 1, as I've probably just been saying, is it's not that bad. Okay, so at first it may feel bad, and people probably are really, really anxious about turning that big 3-0, but honestly, when it actually happens, like any kind of anxiety, you realise that reality of it is not as bad as you've been making out in your head. So there's a bit of reassurance for anyone who's just about to turn 30. It's not that bad. You still feel the same. You wake up on the day and you still feel the exact same as you did when you were 29. I actually still feel the same as I did when I was like 27. You kind of have this like nice sense of like a new September, and that's really relevant, as cringy as that sounds, because my birthday is September, and I think I said it in one of my other videos about having new Septembers, Taylor Swift lyric, blah blah blah. But yeah, it's really true. Like September is that kind of starting point in a way, which is kind of weird because it's not the start of the year. But you know, school, college, university, whatever, all start in September. It's always seen as like that fresh start. I always remember being in school and like picking out my new school shoes and my stationery, and I was always like, yes, it's a new September, the new me. Well, it was also always my birthday, so it was always like a new chapter in my life as well. So this one, biggest so far, you kind of wake up on your birthday thinking, yeah, this is a new decade. It actually feels kind of like a relief, like oh, I've made it to this point and I'm ready for what life brings. So yeah, number 1, it's not that bad. Number 2, you now have more life experience. Embrace your 20s before turning 30. So when I was entering my 20s, obviously you're kind of coming out of being a teenager, which is really young. You kind of like, if you think about when you're 13, for example, like you're practically still a child, and then up until like you're 19, like you're kind of growing as a teenager. So then when you enter your 20s, you don't have a great deal of life experience because you're fresh out of education or still in education. You've not really been in the big wide world. Some people may have, but you know, the majority of people probably haven't. So when you enter 30, like you actually have like a decade of like proper life experience behind you, and then it just feels really good because you know that going forward you are going to take on new experiences and new opportunities, but you have a lot of knowledge. And it's actually good as a performer like myself, because with acting and stuff as well, it's always good to have like real life experiences that you can touch on, and you actually now genuinely can say, I've got so much life experience from my 20s and I've done this, this, this and this, and now I can take it into this new chapter and use it in different ways. Use it in acting, use it in musical theatre, use it in job interviews or in a job, doing anything. General day-to-day things. I'm not explaining it well, but you kind of have that experience behind you to kind of help you make better decisions in life. You can remember what something felt like, and so you kind of know what not to do and kind of like what to do, if that makes any sense whatsoever. It's nice. You've got that experience and you're ready to gain more experience in a different way. It's great. Number 3, I feel, is quite an important one. It's kind of like a slight contradiction, but not. So number 3 is you still have time, and then in brackets, but don't waste it. So basically what I kind of mean by this is, just because you've turned 30, it doesn't mean you've now run out of time to do things. So I feel like in this day and age especially, people always feel like they're in a rush to do things, and people often tend to compare their lives to other people's lives and forget that everyone's on their own path and their own track, and no two humans really grow at the same rate at the same time. Like, it's quite hard to find someone else who is on the exact same path as you. When I say this, I'm picturing like train tracks, and like no one's on that exact same route. Everyone's got their own trains going off on different tracks and different levels, whatever. I feel like it's important because you have to know that you do still have time. Like, if you really think about things deeply, when you hit your 30s, like, you still have like another, on average, people have like another 50 years to live. That's a long time. That's more than your lifetime that you've had already. And if you think about how long 30 years has been and how much you have done, seen, achieved, like everything in your life from being 0 to 30 is just like huge, then imagine having that again and then some. Like, you still have a lot of time, and it's never too late to do things. Like I just said, always a new September. Like, you can change your mind and do things at any time that you want, any age that you want. And being 30, it shouldn't be seen as, oh, well, I've run out of time now, like I should have done this in my 20s. No. People at 30 can still choose to go and do a university course, to go back into education, like anything, if they wanted to. It's not too late, and you still have opportunities. So for anyone that's turning 30 and is thinking, oh, I've run out of time, I can't do this now, change your mindset, be positive, you can do this. Even if it's just something really small, like, you still have the time to do it. You shouldn't have to feel like now that you've hit 30, everything's gonna be downhill. Absolutely not. You're still on the up. Opportunities are always around the corner, and you still have time. But saying that, my little brackets of don't waste it means don't waste that time, you know? Like, you don't want to go through another decade and then hit 40 having not done things that you want to do. So use the time wisely. Don't waste it. Don't procrastinate. I know it sounds like a slight contradiction, but what I mean is you still have that time, but just use it to your advantage now. Really structure that time and be like, right, I'm going to do this, and do this, and go forth and do great things. Number 4, you stop caring what people think as much or at all. So when I was in my 20s personally, like, I found that I was probably a lot more insecure in myself as a human, which I'm sure most people in their 20s are, purely because you're still growing, you're still changing, you're still figuring things out, you're still figuring out who you are, what sort of person you are, you're trying to know yourself and what you like and what you dislike and who you should have in your life and who you shouldn't. And then it's kind of like when you get to 30, I'm not just saying it happens overnight when you turn 30, it's obviously a bit of a run up to it as well, but you kind of enter this decade thinking, you know what, I know myself and I know who I am, I know what friendship should feel like, who is good for me and who is not. You kind of do a bit of like a mental clean out and a physical clean out of like things and people that don't serve you anymore, and you kind of just know yourself and don't really care what other people's judgments are on you. Now obviously I'm not speaking on everyone's behalf because everyone's an individual and everyone's different, but for me personally, I've stopped caring as much what people think of me as a person, because the only person I can be is me, and if you like me, then amazing, and if you don't, then that's fine, that's none of my business, that's up to you, but you should never change who you are. Everyone has flaws, no one's perfect, and that's what makes you amazing, and you offer something great to the world, and so you should embrace that. As long as I'm happy with me, as long as I love me, and as long as I'm not doing anything bad to anyone or causing any like harm to anyone, then we're good to go. And finally, number 5, which kind of relates a little bit to number 4, you are confident in your own skin. I mean, again, I'm just speaking on my behalf, but maybe people can relate. So basically, you stop caring so much about how you look all the time. You stop caring about looking a certain way, and you embrace what you look like, what works for you. Again, like, I'm just speaking on my behalf, I realise what I like to wear. I realise how I like to do my makeup or my hair or whatever, and it's kind of like my own style, and I don't feel like I have to like follow certain trends. Like, I can follow a number of different trends that I personally want. I feel more confident in my body. I feel like embracing your body for what it is great, but you know, also obviously keeping healthy and fit and stuff like that, and doing what works for you. Feeling kind of like at home in yourself more. Like, I found that I just know myself more and feel more confident in my own skin, and just doing things for me and not to try and fit in to like the world and society in the way that people feel they should sometimes, you know? And that's great. Like, it's a really empowering feeling to just be confident within yourself and just be like, this is me, here I am, take me or leave me. So yeah, those are just 5 little great things about turning 30. There's probably like loads more on the list, but I just wanted to do a quick video for you today. So anyone who is turning 30, don't be anxious, it's fine, it's great. And you are only as old as you feel. And to be honest, like, I used to really worry about aging as well, but it's just a part of life, do you know what I mean? And I'm just embracing it all. I feel really positive, I feel great, and I just wanted to share those great 5 things about turning 30 with you guys today. So if you liked this video and what you heard, then give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to drop me a comment, subscribe to my channel, stick around on my channel for many more videos to come. I also do lots of cover songs, which I really enjoy doing, so make sure you have a look at my channel, take a look at them. Stick around to the very end of this video and there'll be more videos you can click on and have a little watch. It's great to see you, and hopefully I'll see you back on my channel very soon. Goodbye!